Boom. Welcome to the Too Much Moxie Podcast, where we explore the keys to unlocking your fullest potential and living your best life. I'm your host, Too Much. Okay, we had an echo here, man, so we got to get that situated. And this is my co-host, Walt D. Certified a lot of things, but that's not important. Um, Today we dive into a pivotal message for our listeners approaching or over the age of 40. We have a powerful discussion ahead inspired by none other than Kevin Samuels, focusing on why life truly begins at 40. Stay tuned as we unpack the milestone challenges and opportunities that this age brings. Let's get started. All right, all right, all right. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. First of all, let me say it like this, man. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, man. We can't hear you, Walt. I think you're muted a little bit.
Oh, I guess I actually hit the button.
There we go.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. And yeah. I know you're still waiting, but happy Father's Day to you too, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of young men that see the Too Much Moxie show and look up to you, bro. So,
man, appreciate it, man.
That's important.
I try to give out the game over here. We try to give out the game over here, give you guys the truth. We want to thank everybody for joining us on this Father's Day special. Looks like everybody's joining us we're live on all streams. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're getting it. Let me just go ahead and go live. I don't think we went live on Instagram yet, but we are now. We're live on all platforms. So y'all forgive me if y'all didn't hear the introduction, but we're talking about men approaching the age of 40 or at 40. That's what we're talking about. And none other than the Godfather himself, man, Kevin Samuels. He gave us some, his catalog of work, I think, is worth billions of dollars easily. The stuff that you can learn here, I mean, it's better than going to the Smithsonian, right? If you want to know about relationships between men and women, especially black men and black women relationships, I think Kevin Samuels is your go-to. And whether you respect him or not, whether you're a man or a woman, you better hear that brother out, because he possibly could have the keys to the kingdom, and he could, save you a boatload of trouble, right? So shout out to our brother Kevin Samuels, man. We're going to get into a couple of his videos, or one of his videos, real quick. But happy Father's Day again to everybody. Walt D, life begins at 40. What do you think about that statement?
Yeah, I think life can begin. It does begin at 40, considering the climate that we're in. Because if you're a man, life can begin at 20, 30, 40, or even 50. But I get what Kevin Samuels is saying, because when you hit that age of 40 in this climate that we live in, it's just a new level of understanding, there's so many new things. And I guess we'll probably get into it a little bit later, but you get to a level of wisdom, you learn certain things in life, you've hopefully absorbed enough information, and there's so many things that happen at 40 that don't happen at 20 or 30, because we're still waiting. Some people, it does hit them at 32, 30 also. So, because I know people that's at 30 and somehow they hit that well of information, and they hit that tradition and culture that a man would normally hit at 40. So it's in the ballpark. I like it.
Right, but that's not common, right? We know through numbers and things like that, and statistic, that most men are late bloomers. Let's keep it at that way. Most men are not, especially in America, they're not hitting their stride on time. We have something that men and women have to avoid early on in life, and that's called pitfalls. That's called traps. That's called debt, right? That's called drugs, alcohol, sex addiction. All these things are waiting for you as you mature and grow and become a man. And your ability to avoid, your ability to step to sidestep, to maneuver is pivotal, especially while you're young, because there's some benchmarks. You don't want to start. You don't want to wake up and it's 40 years old and you got nothing to show for it, because then the only thing you can show from there on is just work. You're just going to be working. And let's be real. We understand and know that between 40 and 65, most men hit their financial stride and they start amassing the most wealth they're ever going to get. Okay. It's always good when you perform well in your 20s and 30s. So now your 40s, you're not playing catch up. You're just swinging and hitting, getting on base, and until you get all the way around the plate and till you go home. Opposed to now you didn't do anything in your 20s and 30s. Now you got to step up and now you got to swing for the fences. Now every at bat, every hit, it counts, right? Instead of using the law of large numbers and the average, right? Most people have a batting average, right? 2 something, 3 something, 4 something, right? I'm batting a 436. I'm batting a 238, right? Most people, don't quote me on this. I don't know baseball like that, but I think 300 is a decent batting average to be a professional. If you're batting 300 and above, I think you're a pro, right? So you want to be a pro in your 40s. You don't want to be becoming a pro in your 40s. It's just different. Okay, it's just different. So that's where we're at. I'm going to play a little bit of the video. We're just going to start out. We're not going to play the whole thing. Obviously, we don't have time. But I want you guys to check out the video. I want you guys to definitely check out this video with Kevin Samuels. Go look on his page, The Godfather. I believe the name of the video is, let me bring the video up here. I believe the name of the video is well, go look on his page. I'll make sure I put the link in the description. The way it popped up on, hold on, let me see. Hold on. I can scroll down here. Let me see here. That's not the name of the video. I think that's just the section that we're in. So, but it's definitely the name of the video definitely is Life Begins at 40. So check it out. It's on the Kevin Samuels station. We don't got much time to go into it. We're gonna play a little bit of the video. We're gonna come back and talk about it. You're gonna hear some good words of wisdom from our brother Walt D. You can hear some good words of wisdom from me, and then we're gonna bid you guys a good night. We're not gonna keep you all day. This is Father's Day. We want you to spend time with your family, your children, your wives, whatever, your loved ones. This is your day, but we want to give you something special before you start your day. So let me play a little bit of Kevin Samuels, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
If you're gonna tell me you got a husband, make sure he's there and cam ready.
Setting up right here. I think he's just setting up right here.
This is why it's so dangerous about the danger zone. You're out there like you got all the time in the world. You haven't really taken any assessments. Haven't been any self-reflective. And the funny thing is, these women who are in the danger zone.
Oh, hold on. This is the wrong video, you guys. I'm so sorry. This is the wrong video.
Oh, why am I in the
No. What was your name?
This is the wrong video, you guys. I don't know how this happened. I apologize. Forgive me. Let me get the right video up here. So we're going to stop sharing this. Let me get the right video up here. I was like, hold on. That's not the video. That's not. There we go. Something happened. All right. Now we got the right video. I'm sorry, you guys. I was looking at it. No wonder. Different suit on. That's my fault. I take the blame for that. So we're gonna get the right video up right now. I was like, hold on. That's definitely not the video. Lessons your father should have taught you. That's what the video name of the video is. You guys go check this video out in its entirety on the Kevin Samuels platform. But let's hear a little bit of what Kevin is talking about.
Understand at age 40, your mindset needs to remember at age 20 how you had to eat shit.
Come on.
Because so many women will be coming along your way who had nothing for you back in the day when you were beta. Yeah, back in the day when they had nothing for you and they hitting you with the hey big head. And you're like, don't diss them. Don't be mean to them. Hell, talk to them, pick their brain, work with them if possible. And if you won't, dust a few of them off. But by no means do you get involved with them. Shout out to Minister Jap. He has a phrase that I'm going to take. He says, you're too old to mold. There used to be a brother running around the Manosphere, on the Manosphere Street talking about he doesn't deal with women over 25. I think that's a bit young. But the general sentiment is if you are a woman and you are cute, pretty, beautiful.
Let me address that real quick. Kevin Samuels, I think like Kevin Samuels, when he says 25 is a little bit too young. Now, it's not. It's not young in the world sense, right? 25 is not young in the world sense, but it's young in the Western world sense, in Western mentality. The women are not mature. Let's just call it what it is. The reason why Kevin Samuels said, I think 25 is too young, and I'm going to tell brothers 25 is too young. If you want a woman in America, 25 is too young. Now, I understand we got eggs and we got, trauma and things like that. Okay. I'm not saying a woman can't get married before 25 or at 25. I would recommend to hit that sweet spot. But if you're looking for a woman with a mature mindset that's being brought up in the American culture and American system, she's not ready. Let's be real. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't have any sense of the world around her. She's been programmed to not want kids, to choose to chase a career first. So she wants to ride the carousel, for lack of a better word, and she thinks it's okay to ride the carousel until she gets married. So for the most part, a lot of American women are not going to be good for you. Let's just keep it, especially for relationships. For dating, yes, right? Because what do I say dating is? Dating is sex, right? That's what dating leads to. It leads to more sex. It doesn't lead to marriage. It doesn't lead to a happy home. It doesn't make that woman a wife. It just says she's fun to hang out with and she's a good place filler until I build my money up, go overseas and get the wife I want. Does that kind of make sense a little bit, Walter, what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense. And one key thing that I like about what you said is that there's a difference in culture from the West and in other cultures, because other cultures that what a woman normally learns over here after 30, they learn that after freaking 18, 19, 20, 21 over there in different cultures. So by the time they're 25, they're talking like, and I've met so many women overseas that's 25 and up talking like they're 40. They're like, I know what I need to do for my family. The degree I'm about to get is going to help. I mean, it'll be able to help me have money, but the degree I'm going to get is going to help me push my family. It's going to help my family. I'm not going to put this over. So different things like that. I've noticed that there's like a 10-year age gap in maturity from the West and places overseas. So it's insane. So you're spot on, brother.
Yeah. And and that's just for me traveling and realizing that I'm talking to women from all walks of life, educated, not so educated, in between, going to college, out of college. These are young women, even talking to the much more mature women overseas. They're, like I said, I say it like this, and I say this with a grain of salt. Single mothers Women who are single mothers overseas are not the same as the women who are single mothers in America. Not saying that they do a better job raising kids, right? I'm saying that one has a culture to protect the children in case the husband is out of the home, and one doesn't. One says the government, right, takes care of your children, and that's the backup plan, right? These women, I'm not saying they do better than men overseas, but I'm saying they're more apt to be able to fit them in to a family dynamic. They're more apt to, once they get a man to accept them that they have a child, they're more apt to run that man's program. And their kids are more apt to be, more responsible and fit right in than
Right.
women
It's
in America.
basically family versus government. A
There you
lot of the
go.
people I know overseas, like if your parents get deleted or you're not fitting in well in your parents' house, the uncles and the aunties will take care of you. We don't have that as much out here because we've been scattered. We've been made to say that oh, as soon as you hit 18, get out the house, or as soon as this happens, you need to be your own individual in your own individual thing. But we're just being turned into individual batteries that just get burnt out, and all of that wealth that comes from us, it just goes to the government. We're being used like money, but it's our time and resources. If you go to places overseas, it's not like that. You can actually go to family members. There's not so much pride. Like there's a certain way you're taught to respect and treat family members so that everyone doesn't have a fallout from individuality. And that's
Come
how
on.
those family members stick together. Even my wife, yeah, I think it was her biological father that passed away. When her biological father had passed away, her uncle said, "You're moving in with me." She moved in with her uncle. As soon as it was time for college, her uncle paid her school fees for college and brought her a laptop, taught her, said, "Look, this is how you need to conduct yourself to be a lady," and so on and so forth. She didn't go out there to any government entity. She didn't listen to the FIMS and the entity this, the alphabet that, and say this and this and that. So now she's not coming out like the Westerners and saying, "Oh, hey, no, if I do this, yeah, I'm a slave. If I do this, I'm this." No, that's the biggest difference.
Correct, man. That's huge. That's huge. You see how the system is there to protect its family, whereas the system here, there's a family breakdown. So the once you become single, it's like you're lost on an island on your own, or you're in a handful of hyenas, right? You're in a handful of single mothers who hate men and masculinize the women and no boundaries, no structure, just wild children growing up, and that's not good. That's not good, and we know that. And Kevin Samuel speaks on that. But as Kevin mentioned, age 40 is when the game changes, right? That's when the game changes. It's when your experience, knowledge, and efforts converge, positioning you for success. But it's also a time when you need to be strategic about your relationships and personal life. Kevin talks about the importance of avoiding certain pitfalls, particularly in relationships with women who might not have the traditional mindset uh, you value. Now, I'm noticing, Walt, that there is a class of men who don't understand what a traditional woman is, right? They're still stuck in this 50-50 mindset. You mentioned traditional woman, they think, oh, yeah, I got a traditional wife. No, 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 you don't. If you're in some type of partnership, right? If you're depending on your wife's income in order to pay bills and move around, then you don't have a traditional woman. You have a woman that has to work, or you can't pay your mortgage on time, right? Or your family has to go without eating, right? So a lot of these guys, like I said, well, they think they have traditional women because their women cook sometimes, their women clean sometimes, right? Is that a traditional woman? what's the difference between a traditional woman and a modern woman, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like in the Western world, we either get these knockoffs and imitations of traditional women, or we get some type of hybrid of a modern traditional woman in these partnerships and whatnot. But to me, that's not how it should be. The difference to me between a modern and a traditional woman is that a traditional woman always puts her family and her spouse first. She knows how to value her family and her spouse. And I know people are going to say, well, what if this? What if no, no, no. I don't even want to hear the what ifs, because the what ifs that you see all the women breaking out on social media is comes from their crappy prerogative. You wouldn't have all these what ifs if you didn't have a woman's crappy prerogative in this Western world. I mean, it happens all over the world, yeah, but it happens more in the Western world. The reason why these women who think like this say, well, what if the man's not doing his job? What if he's not leading right? What if he's not this? Well, you picked that man to do that. We can't evaluate, or we can't reflect and cultivate the the traditional values based off of your crappy prerogative. So I need to say that. So the difference between modern and traditional women is that traditional women put their family first. They're submissive to their man, and submission doesn't mean that you have to be passive or a slave or all that, all the feminist lies that they tell to institutionalize people. No, because I know traditional women that they're I don't know how it happens, but they're soft and humble. But if their man gets too much of ego, they'll tell like it is. This is bad for our family, husband. You know. Or I know some traditional women, they have degrees too, but their degree supports the house. They're not putting what they need to do over family or their husband. The modern woman is submissive. And I'm finishing it up. The modern woman is submissive to entities. The modern woman is submissive to feminism. The modern woman is submissive to all of these institutionalized things over her husband. You'll always hear it. Well, this entity says this entity says that. And then she goes to whatever her husband thinks. Our household should have this and this and this, that. And now we're getting so many feminized men that they're like, you know what? Yeah, yeah. That Adam Eve thing, that they're eating of the apple, losing their, well, it wasn't an apple, sorry. It was eating of the fruit, because the Bible never says apple. They're eating of the fruit, and they're becoming modern and feminized too. So that's the difference between modern and traditional women. The modern woman is submissive to entities. The modern woman is trying to put the bag, trying to put her goals, over everything. She even puts her kids. That's why you don't want to be a stepdad, because oh, my kids come first. My kids come first. Well, maybe in the beginning when you guys are courting, but once that man takes over, let him take over. If he can't, and you're still like, oh, my kids come first, then you're a modern woman. Partnership. The partnership is just the lie for I just want to do what I want to do, but I need to a good term to make my husband feel comfortable about accepting nonsense. I land my plane there.
Okay, let me say this, man, and I don't want to get too far off the subject, man. But imagine what was in that fruit that they were eating that made them to know good and evil. Think about eating a fruit, and that fruit makes you wise. It's wanting to make you wise. Now, This is a conspiracy, but we know that they're putting stuff in the food to emasculate the man. So think about if there's food that emasculates a man, whether it's man-made or man-altered, shouldn't there be food to build back up a man? Make him more masculine, give him more testosterone or whatever, right? Think about that. Just wanted to throw that little tidbit for those Bible studiers and people who want to go deep. That's something to think of. Think about a fruit that you eat that's sweet, that tastes good, and when you eat it, it makes you wise. It gives you brain power. It fires off neutrons and things like that. Think about all these vitamins that claim to do that, these pills that claim to do that. But think about a fruit that God made. And if that fruit still exists today, or if it's taken out of here, that was given to man to make him the man that he is today. Just something to think about. Now,
wow, that's good.
Yeah, I just want to throw that in there, man. Now, it's clear that Kevin believes in maintaining high standards and being intentional about the people you allow into your life. Now, let's talk about the significance of your image, right? Kevin always emphasized the importance of dressing appropriately and maintaining a professional and masculine appearance. This isn't just about your vanity. It's about commanding respect and opportunities. Walter, how important it is for men to dress mature and not to dress like children. Now, I'm probably not the total example of that. I dressed, but there was a period, at least for 10, 12 years of my life, where I wore a suit every day. I arrived at the office early. I left the office late. I was building a financial practice at the time. And that suit gave me confidence. That suit gave me the appearance of someone that you should want to listen to, and it commanded respect. Now, of course, I was a man of integrity and all those things, but the image of selling money was just as important as the intellect to give people advice. What's your position on Kevin Samuels, dress to impress, put your best foot forward? And you can even talk about leading with your wallet, though I'm not a fan, probably because I'm from California. But and if you know. But talk about that a little bit, man. Because Kevin Samuels, he goes deep. You guys should really watch this video. Like I said, we can't go into everything about this video. I don't want to get copyright and things like that. But I want you guys to understand that Kevin Samuels is not just a regular man. He was a prophet that God allowed us to have for a short time. And he was able to collapse time frames, and he gave us a body of work that really needs to be studied. So many jewels that, I don't know if he fully understood. I'm sure he had an understanding, but I'm telling you that we're able to take his body of work and take that work to the next level. I'm telling you that there's a youngster out there who's going to decipher all of Kevin Samuels' stuff, listen to it, and then he's going to expand upon it and take us into the new millennium. This is how good this information is. Talking about men's appearance, image, how is that important for men today? And you're a truck driver, so this would be a good conversation.
Wow, I'm in the middle of this.
Just so you know, brother, I saw you in Lagos, brother. You wasn't looking like no truck driver. That's all I'm going to say about that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I had a tailor-made native suit, two tailor-made native suits.
Clean.
And that's why I'm in the middle of it, because I come from a place when I was growing up, I was always taught that you respect the CEO and you respect the janitor or the cleaning man. And they wear two different types of clothes. But another thing I'm starting to realize is that the cleaning man and the CEO can possibly make the same amount of money. Because if you see that cleaning man with his work uniform, and you see that CEO with the suit, both of them, maybe that cleaning man runs his own company, runs his own business, and is clocking in in like maybe 1.5 million, 2 million a year off his cleaning business, and that CEO might be making the same or less. So as far as dress to impress goes, unfortunately to me, and this is just my opinion, unfortunately Kevin Samuels is 100% spot on. And you're like, why are you saying unfortunately? I like what Kevin Samuels is saying. He's saying the right things, right? But a lot of us have been conditioned to follow the Pied Piper-esque things of the man in the suit. That's why when you see the people that come into villages and sell snake oil, they can sell all that snake oil because they come in with a suit. You know, like we created a society to where you need to look a certain way to get to a certain place. Especially being a brother. I've seen people of other nationalities get jobs, get positions, and they honestly, some of them, they didn't even have to go into the office to apply. Some of them came in looking casual, but it was like the brother had to always like go that extra step. You know, wear the suit. He just couldn't present himself by who he is. Even when we see the balloon popping thing, there were some brothers that came in with some decent clothes, right? But just because they didn't come in with the suit, they was getting the balloon pop from jump. And I was like, man, brother was looking clean. So I think we need to learn how. So unfortunately, Kevin Samuels is right. We need to always dress to impress because that's just the way society is. But what I'm saying is, whatever circle you're in, learn how to respect the person in the work clothes, in the uniform, or in the suit. I'm not saying you should ever look bummy. You should never smell bad. But the person in the suit, the person in the work clothes, and the person in the uniform can all look clean. They could all smell good. They could have the soul, that masculine energy and soul coming from their what they have on. And I think if you wear the clothes of masculinity and let that be shown, that can be more than a suit, a uniform, or work clothes. That's how I feel about it.
Well, think about what you just said, right? Your work uniform. What if your work uniform is a military uniform? Does that uniform not command respect when people see you? When you're in your dress blues, do not people look at you differently? So you got to give props to Kevin Samuels. He was clean. He was a clean brother, man. He was not your average looking black man that's portrayed in the media, that's portrayed on television, right? That we see every day walking outside, you know, in the public, right? So he was actually the image of he was the image of what black people used to look like, if I'm being honest. If we go back to before the 60s and go back into the early 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, this was the dress that black men wore suits. Black men dressed for success. Black people were the most married. They were the moral compass of this country, right? They had their morals intact. They were Christians, you know, they go to church, they dressed for the occasion, they dressed up on Sunday. Where do you think they got the idea for dressing up on Sunday? Black people did that. We dressed up on Sunday. We didn't go in casual clothes. We walked in, we knew coming out of slavery that we had to put our best foot forward and do it all the time. All the time. So I'm just going to throw this caveat, man, as a resolution or as something that to honor our brother Kevin Samuels, man. I'm not going to follow the cronies that try to dress like Kevin Samuels, right? But I'm going to dress up. I'm going to dress more for the part of doing a podcast, more for the part of being a black man, and more for the role and success that portrays the image of who I want the world to see me as. How about that? So I want my audience to hold me accountable for that. Hold me accountable for that, because you are going to start seeing some noticeable changes over that. and this message is for fathers, right? This message is for young men, right? You young men who are coming into age, and you're going to, you're not quite yet 40, but you want to hope and pray you live to 40. And 20s and 30s, there's life cycles, and I'm coming out with a book. I have a book that I'm writing and I'm rewriting and I'm doing revisions, and I'm going to bring it to market soon. It just talks about the stages of life for men. Where are you at? Are you in your cycle in your 20s? You're in a cycle in your 30s, and you're in a whole nother cycle in your 40s. Now I go all the way up until 40 because I'm 44, right? But I want you to understand that my life really just began. Life does truly begin at 40. You're wiser. You have a clearer head. You have more emotional intelligence that women like to use and throw around. You are operating at the highest level of your game because you see the field for what it is. You have a different understanding than you had in your 20s and in your 30s to what the game is. You are, even though I have this gray beard right here, and maybe I'm looking a little older than 44, or maybe I'm not looking as groomed as I should be, right? I'm in my prime. I could shave this at any time, and I can get cute for y'all if I want to. You know what I'm saying? I can go get a fresh cut. I got money in the bank. I can travel, go to different countries, right? I could put, I have money where I could put down and maybe start a business and things like that. What I'm trying to say is I'm not broke. You shouldn't be broke in your 40s. You should have a sense of budget about you. You should know how to budget your money, right? You should know how to float and how not to live paycheck for paycheck. You should have that part figured out. In your 40s, you shouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck. You need to be able to save a minimum after all your bills are paid, a minimum of at least $1,000 a month. If you don't have $1,000 discretionary income at the end of the month, you're failing. Maybe you're overspending. I don't care if you make 10 grand a month. If you don't have at least minimum, and you should have more, minimum $1,000 discretionary income left over after all your bills and things are paid that you normally do and enjoy, you're doing something wrong. You're behind. You don't want to be scrambling in your 40s. You want to hit your stride to where now your stride is no longer a jog. It's no longer a walk. You're moving. But it's at a comfortable pace enough to where you're not getting as tired as you normally would. So that's what your 40s really is. That's what life becoming greater in your 40s. That's what it gets greater later means. It means that you're going to go through rejection in your 20s, and you're supposed to. You're going to go through relationship problems in your 30s. Why? Because you're supposed to. In your 20s, you're failing and you're trying to see. In your 30s, you're trying to understand human nature and people, because that's what's going to help you get promoted and move up in the world and in societies. That's what I mean. In your 40s, you should know what you're good at. You should know how to deal with people, and you should be at a more leadership position and a more leadership status. You should have a good social circle. You should have a good social status. You should have a good networking. You should have people that you can go and you can make money with, and you create things and ideas and sell, and you should have that put together. You should not be, now if you don't have that, I don't want you to feel bad and think, oh, woe is me. But it's time you start getting that. Don't wait till you're 50. Don't wait till you're 60. If you're 40 and you don't have the thing that I'm talking about, go get it. Period, point blank. Go get it. Don't be left behind. Don't be left behind. Kevin reminds us also that high value. Are we there? Okay. Looks like thank you for the heart. The person that gave us the heart, we appreciate that. Kevin reminds us that high value men often have a trial of failure behind them. These experiences shape resilience and wisdom. The journey to becoming high value involves action, change, and a lot of patience. It's about learning from your failure and continuing to push forward. I could show y'all clip after clip, but I'm just going to tell you, go get it. I want y'all to hear from Walt D a little bit. We're about to wrap things up. I don't want to take too much of you guys' Father's Day. I might want to come back and slow cook this some more. I don't know. If you guys do want me to slow cook this a little bit more, because I got a whole bunch of more stuff I can talk on. This is the Men's Empowerment Podcast. This is this is a Father's Day special, and I really want you guys to get this. But I also want to respect your time. I want to respect my brother's time here because he got to spend time with his family. He got some things he needs to do. But if you guys want me to continue and go deeper into the cycles of men, into the journey, what your journey in your 40s, what you need to do in your 20s, because I got so much more stuff I want to go over. Just leave me a comment. Get this video to 1,000 views. Get this video to 1,000 views, and we'll come back and we'll do a part 2 to this, and we'll finish it up, and we'll do a fantastic job. But I want y'all to hear from our brother Walt D. Moore. We're gonna get ready to try to kind of close it down. High value men. Trails of success, right? Trial and error, right? Or trial and failure. What's your best advice for young men who are approaching 40, or men who are already 40? What should a man be preparing before he becomes 40, and what should a man be actually doing in his 40s? Opposing you, because I'm, my brother here, he drives trucks, but he's been promoted. I mean, he's promoted himself in life, and he's successful. So I want you to hear from our brother Waldy.
Hey, thanks, brother. I'll say this, and then I'll log off while you close off. Go get everything done. Even my wife. But
blown up over there.
Yeah. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Whether you're a awesome father or you're a not so good father, tomorrow awaits. The past is the past. The present and the future awaits you. To all the young men that's 40 or approaching 40, the word I have for you, or the statement that I have for you, is change your culture. Learn about culture and change your culture. You have to deprogram yourself from what's going on in the West. Everything in the West is meant for you to be a battery. It's meant for you to be a bot. It's meant for you to be a slave for something. You have to deprogram yourself from that. You have to deprogram yourself from all these ideologies and go develop your culture. Culture develops so many things without me having to even go into a long speech about, oh, you need to up this, you need to up that, you need to do, because there's so many variables for so many different types of men. All I can say is update your culture. When I study different cultures and I learned about culture, and I see so many people together in other cultures, but yet I see the United States, people in the United States as mercenaries. Everybody's on their own individual thing. I was like, whoa, we can't have this culture. Let me go back to what the proven culture of our ancestors is. And let me not just follow that, but let me improve upon it, because we have to realize men make a lot of mistakes. Men, you'll fail more times than you succeed. So with all the culture that we've received over the years, that's from men failing. So there are going to be some things that we learn, like, oh, he did it wrong. He didn't do it this way. Or maybe he was still learning. He was pioneering. Even if we pick up the culture of Kevin Samuels, to where we learn more about how to deal with the modern woman and what woman and everything Kevin Samuels was going into. I'll just put it out there. I agree with about 80% of what Kevin Samuels says. But then I'm grown enough to adapt that culture. Like, yeah, we need to start getting together and knowing our value as men and not letting blah, blah, blah. But then I know enough to say, hey, I need to take some of this with a grain of salt, because he's pioneering this thing. So it's up to us to take the torch and make it better. Somebody in our ancestors built small buildings. Today, in this day and age, we're building big buildings. It's the same design, it's the same cultures, but we know how that they had buildings that allowed a breeze to go through. Now we're building buildings that allow air conditioning to go through. We need to do that with the culture that we're receiving from our ancestors, and not the culture of entities. And because when I was helping to counsel a father and a son, and the son was like, "Wow, do I have to really wait till 40?" I said, "No, you don't." But I said, if you want to develop an atmosphere where men, because we're men, we can change the world, which means we can change how things are. If we want to get back to our ancestors, where young men are having businesses in their 20s, and that they're getting married and already knowing, having marriage candidates, because some of these people came from arranged marriages. That it was like, hey, I know who I'm marrying. I already know what I have to do as a man. The learning curve was down. If we wanted to get back to that, where our future generation doesn't have to wait to 40 to learn these things, we have to start setting the environment. We have to start setting the cultures. We have to start setting the cycles. We can't allow the government and the entities and the way life is going, from us having hardships, being individuals trying to shed off all this stuff. We need to make it better for the next generation. And that's how I answered that fathers and sons question. And I said, you know what? I told the son, I said, if you follow what your father is saying, your son will be able to grow up in an environment to where he can achieve at 30 what we're achieving at 40. So change your culture as a man, as a young man. Once you change your culture, study culture and learn about it, you'll be good. Happy Father's Day.
Brother. All right, brother. So check this out. I'm gonna need you to go check out my TikTok before you leave up out of here.
All right.
And I'm already able to go live on my Mucho Art account. I just got live access right now. So go check out the growth on the Mucho Art and the Too Much Moxie TikTok. And you'll probably see me on an Odie and AK podcast today, just so you know.
Okay, cool. I'll try to do it while I'm out and doing my stuff. I'll try to set aside some money after I go shopping and whatnot. But yeah, thanks, brother, man. This was an awesome show, and yeah, be blessed out there.
Yeah, man. Y'all see what it is, man. I don't need to say anything else, man. I'll leave you guys with this, man. As a father out there, you got to understand and know that you are a teacher. You are a teacher, first and foremost. If you're a father, you are a teacher. You are a role model. Okay? You are valuable, and you mean everything to the people you are providing and protecting for. Be strong, be resilient. Be the man that the Bible says you are. Be the man that your family needs you to be. Lead, lead, lead. We need leaders. We desperately need leaders. We need leaders, and we need to produce more leaders. That's what's going to save the West. That's what's going to save America. That's what's going to save your marriage. That's what's going to save your family. That's what's going to save your way of life. Leader, leader, leader. Everything falls and rises on leadership. You see the turmoil that we're going through. I don't want to get political, but you see what we're going through in this country and the politics. We need leaders. I think it's safe to say that we need leaders. And especially if you're going to be a leader of the free world, as we call ourselves, right? We need true leaders, not these puppet leaders. Not of the free world. We need the free world. We need America to not be corrupted. We don't need to practice thugism or gangsterism and bang in politics. We need the politicians out, and we need the businessmen and people who care about this country in. Hey, listen, you guys, as a man, it's okay to be disagreeable. Stand up for your principles and what you believe in and fight. Don't be a coward. Hold your nuts. Stand your ground. Hey, you guys, it's another episode of the Too Much Moxie Podcast. Man, I am your humble host, Too Much. And guess what, y'all? We are out. Peace. And thank you for watching. Tune in next time.
Yeah, I feel like I joined the